Here comes the final session, Fireside Chat with Alice from Perfect. Alice is the founder and CEO of Perfect, the leading AR and AI beauty tech solution providers and developer of the award-winning YouCam suite of apps. Before starting Perfect, she was the CEO of Cyberlink. With her extensive experience and success in technology into this venture, Alice merged high-tech virtual innovation with a passion for makeup and beauty. For this session, we also invited Jeff, the foremost Chief Digital Officer of Condé Nast Taiwan. Both of them are from tech, beauty, and entrepreneurship backgrounds, and will share tons of valuable experience today. Without further ado, let's welcome Alice and Jeff.
Welcome to SparkLabs demo pitch panel discussion today. My name is Jeff Chang. I'm the moderator for today's discussion. And we are very grateful to have Alice Chang, the CEO of Perfect, to join us today. And the Perfect company is the leading AI and AR technologies companies, and is the main beauty fashion company in the world. And they serve the global beauty groups and the brands, including Estée Lauder and Shiseido, for example. And they offer makeup, skincare, hair through online and offline services. Recently, very congratulations to Alice and team. They received the investment from Goldman Sachs for $50 million and the partnership with Google, Facebook, and IG. And I think the topic we're going to talk about today will be when beauty meets tech, and how do we grow our business to a global market. So welcome, Alice.
Thank you, Jeff. And I'd like to thank SparkLabs to invite me for this panel discussion. I am Alice Chang. I'm the founder and the CEO of Perfect Corp.
Great. So I think Alice has been the CEO for Cyberlink before, which is obviously a very successful company as well. So I think my first question will be, how do you start thinking about the AR virtual makeup ideas, especially when Cyberlink is very successful and in the 2C model? So when it comes to the Perfect, why do you choose to be model, and how do you persuade the brands to join the Perfect dream?
Well, it has been 6 years. So more than 6 years ago in Cyberlink. Cyberlink is a listed company in Taiwan Stock Exchange. Cyberlink is focusing is multimedia technology, including AR. And we did that 15 years ago, AR technology. But that was too early. Ecosystem was not good enough to sustain this kind of technology or applications. So after several years. In 2015, 14, 15, I personally think mobile platform is the future. Happily, at that time, the CPU and GPU computation power in smartphones getting stronger and stronger. Software technology, we need hardware, strong enough hardware in order to sponsor us to be more effective. So that time, I still remember iPhone 5 released, and that was a difference at the time. iPhone 5 or a lot of Android phone, CPU, GPU getting stronger, and the front end camera become a default. If you still remember, that was the year when a new world selfie become popular. Because I love to take photo. But for myself, for my friend, for my kids, for my pets, so especially I think for female at that time, my female friends using camera a lot. And I happened to have chances to travel to China, to US quite frequently. And I found, wow, the mobile world will be the future. Cyberlink used to have all the development and technology and products on PC, Intel. And so I think we need to jump on the new paradigm. That's a new world, new economy, because we don't know what that is. So we call it new economy. So we trying thinking what can we do on the new paradigm, the mobile internet world. So I'm thinking apps, but don't know what kind of apps we can do. At that time, Taiwan does not have any success cases in mobile internet, especially providing some services. So, and then I think myself, what do I need the most? That's the camera. Because I use camera several times a day. And I use competitor apps at that time for beauty apps. So it's like take a photo and do editing and beautifying and sharing or save for myself. So I think looking at the technology at that time for the competitor beauty apps, our technology already been 20 years, so we can do a much better work. So I'm thinking, hey, why don't we do a beauty app with camera, with our video technology, and plus AR, and then that's how we started. So we released the first app, YouCam Perfect. That's what I call natural beauty. So you don't need to take a photo, do editing. In front of the camera, in front of the mobile phone, our technology can make your face, skin smooth or everything, fix some the video problem, and make you feel very pretty when you take photo. That's how we started. And then the app just grew by itself organically without any budget spending. So next one, I think, I need to make my user even more happier. Because most of the app's user are female. And then I said, then what's the next? What else I can do to make our user even more happier? Then it's a makeup. It's a live makeup, virtual makeup. I like my users can, wear makeup, just look at the mirror, look at the mirror, the camera. I call that it's a beauty mirror. And so that's how we started. And then we decided after 1 or 2 years inside CyberLink, because the model is totally different from CyberLink existing business model. So I think we need to be independent. Otherwise, it's very difficult to grow inside CyberLink. That was the time, 2016, we become independent and spun out from CyberLink. So when we spun off, we already have 100 people. And so it's a new startup. Perfect at that time is a brand new company, but actually we inherited 20 years technologies, AI, AR, video, and also we have 100 people in a new startup. And we started from a B2C app. The app itself grew tremendously. And I need to think about what's the business model next, because the app is free. It grew globally, hugely globally, but what's the business model? And then one day, it is true that it's true fact, it's true story. One day I look at in the morning, because for app, we need to develop app in a very speedy way. So every 3 weeks, we have a version update, and we need to create a lot of pretty looks for my user to try. So every week, 10 looks. So every morning, I just love the product so much, because that was the first time AR and make the user try the makeup color on your own face. It's on your own face, and it's in a real time. For me, I'm a beauty lover. For me, I think this is great, because in real world, you can never change different color on your face, as many as you like. So I'm thinking, one day I look at the mirror in the morning without real makeup on my face, and I'm, wow, so much difference. The before after makeup, it's big difference. And I'm thinking, YouCam Makeup apps makes my customers, my users, the girls, happily in the virtual world. They can try as many as digital colors we created for them, as many as the makeup looks we created for them. But in the real world, it's still a big gap. So I just thought of the idea, why not as a brand, beauty brands, makeup brands, to put their color inside our platform. So all the girls can try color at the same time. If I like the color, the lipsticks, the eyeshadow, and I can tell them exactly where you can buy in the real world. So it's that I think it's great, because I can connect the virtual to the real world, online, offline, and really make the girls, they not only look pretty inside the camera, they can also go out to the real world, buy this real product from brands, and help put on their face to make really beautiful. So that's how we started talking to brand. And then actually brand teach us a lot. They taught us, they told us what they need. So not only in the app, they also need the virtual try-on makeup in store when girls goes to the store. And then can they also use YouCam Makeup to try their own product colors. And they also request, what about on the internet, on the web, on the browser? So step by step, we're doing different solutions. That's how we started with brand. And of course, you need to travel a lot. Taipei, Taiwan is never a beauty market. There's no big beauty brands in Taiwan, from Taiwan. So all the beauty brands in New York, in Paris, in Tokyo, everywhere, in Korea. So you need to talk to them, show them what's the vision you share, you have for this kind of application. Why this service is beneficial to the brand, to brand's user, and also directly to the brand. Yeah, because my assumption is we girls, we try more, we buy more. Just like Cyberlink software, from day one we have a free trial. So if the girls can try the brand's products on their own face and perfectly true to real, my belief, my assumption is girls will buy more, dare to buy more, and then brand can sell more. So that's how I share the vision with the brands, and they start doing a POC in a smaller market and then expand globally.
Right. I think it's very important for the audience, especially a lot of startup founders, when they started. I think it's very amazing that Ed is making the right decision around the monetization very early on, because I was the corporate VC before, and we do a lot of investments around the fashion and beauty industry. And a lot of time, the AI, VR, the reason they fail is not because of the experience itself. It's because, the user is not able to really continue this journey and become a habit to use it, but it's more of the wow factor, right? So then it's not sustainable to make a business to the next level. So I think it's the right turn. When you started, you have the right user experience, provide the right value. At the same time, you really understand that you can get to the B2B model to have the brands. Number one, to provide the monetization mechanism. Number two, really provide a user behavior that can be continued to sustain the value itself. So I think that's very smart to move to the B2B model. But obviously, luxury brands, they are very careful about the partnership selections and about the user experience they provide to the customers. So I think it's amazing that from the Taiwan startups, we are able to conquer the global luxury brands and really have to have them on board. But I think the timing is also very important because, like you mentioned, right? So it's the corner that become mobile internet, and a lot of luxury brands, they're in China and they really understand and really face the challenges to really have to try online. So I think they kind of drive the change from the brand's perspective. So my next question is, since we already have very good foundation and right partners to start and get into the global markets, and a lot of the founders actually, when they get into this stage, they have the choice around technology. Because, for example, if we look at a couple months ago, that because of the pandemic, Zoom become very popular. And there's another company, it's also voice-based technology, Clubhouse, right? So they are all the voice-based technology companies, but they obviously choose different paths to realize their value. Zoom become more of like a tool model, providing the tools to the companies and to the users around the communication, whereas the Clubhouse become a social community for people to share and more on the social side. So I'm just wondering, for Perfect, you have the great beauty technology around the AR and AI. When it comes to the selection of the business model, why you start from the tool providing the brands at the online and offline, rather than become, for example, a social virtual community? Because when I started my MBA in the school in US 20 years ago, actually, I was interning in Procter & Gamble, and at the time, the project that Procter & Gamble gave me is also around, as a big global marketing company in the world. When it comes to internet, what should we do? So at the time, interestingly, I was also providing the idea around the virtual community, around the virtual makeup, and they can have the, for example, the cover girl, which they don't have the consultant as a sales at the retail, so the product have to speak for itself. Then the online virtual makeup can really come in to provide the suggestions, to provide the skincare, the makeup, and they can share with the community and to discuss the thing. So obviously it's a different value proposition and different choice. So I'm wondering how Alice look at the different business model And obviously the revenue model is quite different as well, because I think you're right. All the women love to be beautiful, and they are willing to invest a lot of money on those things, right? So, why not go into the e-commerce, for example, and then have the brands become the partners to sell their product through your recommendation, but rather you choose to go into the path to empower the brands to sell at their store.
Well, that was sometimes for startup, you have to look at the market where you assume the revenue can come from. So we at that time we think, wow, this is we try this way, and frankly speaking, we are a technology company, so we can develop very, very top-tier, top-notch technology. And so that is how we enter the market and show to the brand. If you don't have that technology, they will not talk to you at all. And from talking to the brand, YouCam Makeup app, when we started, it grew very, very big by itself, organically. So there are so many possibilities. We have users, we have technology, so we can do e-commerce, you can do social, you can do data, but eventually monetization is still the key for any startup. You have to, with revenue, otherwise it's just a dream. So when we talk to brand, I found they need it. Every business needs to have a strong need, right? And my assumption is this beauty is a must-have. It's a fundamental demand of every human being, especially for female. If it's a must-have, then I'm more, this is my assumption, but it proves right now it's right. But at the time, 6 years ago, not so many people understand what my dream is. So from, when we started for the first 1 or 2 years, it's also very, very difficult. We don't know our monetization model at all. We just don't know. We have a huge user, best technology. So what? So I'm back to the earth. Any company still need to create revenue for themselves. Right.
I think it's amazing that I think you very much highlight the importance of the revenue model, because I think a lot of the startups, when I was the strategy consultants for the Fortune 500 companies, in a traditional world, we talk about the any business has to have 3 parts of the design, from the value creation to value delivery, and eventually the value capture, right? So, but when it comes to the digital side or, the startup, a lot of time they really look at the value creation, what's the user unmet needs, and how do we actually look at the value provided to the customers, while forget about the value capture. So how do we actually can sustain the business while pursuing your dream, at the same time, strike the balance in between, so that you don't really lose the cash, or without the momentum that can keep you going, right? So I think as a seasoned CEO, obviously you really has the balance between the value creation and the value capture. I think that's very important for the startups to really, especially if you try to go to the B2C or B2B models early on. I think the 0 to 1 and 1 to 10 is not just about the value creation itself, but you have to continue thinking about how do you make money along the way, and then where the money is, and how do you get your product aligned with it. So I think it's very interesting. We talk about the value that we created to the users, and how do we actually monetize it around that. And because a lot of the Taiwanese companies, I think you are probably the very leading and very successful company to really can go abroad, get into the international or global markets. So from the user perspective, obviously, if you serve the customers in Taiwan is quite different from serving the customer globally, because, especially the Eastern culture versus Western culture when it comes to product discovery, which I think is what we do to help the customers to identify the right products for them, and how to actually can discover the beauty products that for their needs. So from a product discovery perspective, how do you see, or how do you actually understand, the Western audience versus the Eastern audience in terms of the product discovery? What kind of the features do they need, and what kind of things they really care? From their perspective, any guidelines can provide?
I think because Perfect, although it's a six-year company, but we came from 20 years technology company background. So like CyberLink's, my previous company, I found CyberLink business is international too, it's global too. So all the most of the customers are not in Taiwan. So you do need to have, reach out to the customer, listen to what they need. Of course, you need to be ready for your service, for your technology. And then you go out, you talk to customer, and they will tell you if they think you have value, they will tell you, then you just listen to the customers. So CyberLink is like 10% of revenue, or less than 20% revenue in Taiwan. But Perfect, we have almost, for B2B, we have almost zero revenue from Taiwan. So you need to know your market. You need to go out to the market. Of course, to start up, it's very difficult. You need money, right? You need BD. For B2B, you need business development team. Keep on talking to the customer, knocking at the door until they want to see you, want to listen to you, and then you have to showcase. So yeah, I think listen to the customer when you have any chance. That's important. And you need to make your service and the technology ready and almost perfect for the customer to try. I think that's, for me, that's what we did.
Right. So do you do it through the offices globally set up, or how do you actually gather the information?
Yes. And in CyberLink days, we already have several offshore offices in US, in Tokyo, in France, Germany. So when we jump on the Perfect Corp, the boat, and some of the offshore offices staff join us. So we start global business, global operation immediately. And then we grew from one person in New York, one person in Tokyo, one person in Paris, in Shanghai, in Germany, and then we trying to grow the business development team globally and more. Now, like in New York, we have more than 20 people there. And we never been in New York before Perfect. The CyberLink days are all in the West Coast because it's a very technology. And because our customers are beauty industry, so we need to go to the city with most beauty brands. I think if you want to do a B2B, a global business development team is very important. And need to know how to manage those offshore offices. In Japan, we need to hire Japanese local. We always use local people for business development in different countries. I think that's also very important because they know the country better. So that's how we did in CyberLink, and that's we kind of inherited the operation know-how to this new startup Perfect.
Right. Yeah, I think we have been covering your journey from day one and how do you actually doing from the B2C and with the great results, and then you move to the B2B model to actually capture the value and the right business models, and can monetize the product, and also greater with the great partners with the brands. They really help you to get into the retail and online and offline. So I think it's been a very good journey the past 8 years. And then, I think right now, the next question will be, the competition, right? So I think a lot of the startups, when they get to the level like your company, I think that the question is always around how do you sustain your competitive advantage, right? Especially there's a lot of the AR and AI companies coming to the market. And, I think Taiwan too, I think last year I heard that Watson's is also partnered with ASUS on the a service in Watson's store called Style Me, right? And, the brands also acquiring the AI companies in this area. L'Oreal bought a company, Fesmodi, and there's on and on and on. I think, with the value being proved, I think there are more companies coming to this area. So how do you actually sustain the competition going forward? I think that's probably the lesson learned for a lot of the audience as well.
Well, that's a great question. Technology company is never ending. I always said the technology, if you win this technology, this services, you immediately need to invest and jump onto next paradigm. Okay, but for you to win in this in the existing paradigm, you need to make it very deep. Vertical, for us, we are vertical beauty. Make makeup perfect, and then you can win. You can win your competitor, but I don't think that will always be there. So after makeup, we immediately jump on the next paradigm. That's adding AI. I still believe, I truly see the magic of AI. So we started from AR, and then 3 years ago, we heavily invested on AI. And because AI plus AR together, we developed several very, very amazing technology and services. Like we can detect your skin shade, and the brand can recommend different foundation shades to the girls because they know what is the skin tone of each of the users. So it's more personal recommendation come on the stage because of AI. And then we starting there, keep on investing AI. Another thing is that you have to invest. So at the same time, you need to get the money in order to invest. You cannot stay there. Then to AI, we started to do skincare because we're using camera AI to do skin analysis. We know your skin concerns, skin conditions, wrinkles, pore, eye bag, you name it. We have almost 20 different skin condition detection by using AI and plus AR. We do simulation, emulation, before, after. And now, last year, investing more on AI. And then we can use the camera and AI. We know the shape of every girl. So, for the makeup, because if you have a different eye shape, and then, or face shape, or eyebrow shape, the brand can recommend better fit makeup looks. So I always telling my beauty brands, our best business partner, say, don't use technology because technology. Use technology to solve your pain point of your business and also your customers' pain point. So that's I think this is a never ending for any technology company. It should be the same thing. It's never ending. Once you have something ready, the BD team, business development team, move on to the market to win the customer. R&D team already jump on this project for new service development. And also your technology need to have a barrier, at least for 2 years, I assume. For any other competitor wants to jump in, they need to take the same length of time in order to catch up to your level. So, and I always believe competitor never sleeps. So you have to run fast, and then get the competition barrier higher.
Right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right that I think right now there's a lot of companies are talking about the what we call the T-shaped strategy, which means, the T, the horizontal part is how you can quickly expand it to other areas that leverage your technology. So you come in from the makeup and then you get into skincare to the eyewear products. I think that's perfectly explained that. And the vertical part, how can you go deep into more advanced technology development? I think that's definitely for the competitive advantage. How can you sustain it? So I think, given the time, I think I will have my final questions. We have been talking about, like I said, the journey you have been through and how to sustain your competition. So I think for any startup companies or the founders in the audience, I think, they all want to know the future, right? So how do you see the fashion tech in terms of the future from your perspective?
I believe AR shopping is a perfect match, AR plus shopping, because it's kind of engagement, interactive, and personal recommendation. This three, I think, is very, very key for any commerce. So online commerce or even in-store, physical stores commerce. Providing AR is very key. So we came from makeup AR, and then from makeup to skincare, and even skincare, we are still developing a lot of new skin conditions. Then we just launched fashion AR and jewelry AR not too long ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So. Back to your question, Jeff. Actually, I think for every startup or for every company, the leader needs to have some vision, and for technology company, and the R&D needs to gotta be very talented to deliver your vision, and the business development team needs to bring your vision, your dream to the customer and win the customer back. Right, so it's kind of a three anchors that you cannot miss one of them. Otherwise, only vision without delivery, you can never sell. With vision, with the development capability, but without business development, you can never sell. Right, so each one is very, very important. So that's how I see AR commerce is the growth factor for AI business. So after AR plus AI, we can create a lot of things, a lot of recommendations. So that's how last quarter we say, yes, we need to go to fashion tech, jewelry tech. We need to have not only face AR, we need to have hand AR. So the fashion, the jewelry, right? So the ring, the bracelet, or the nail polish, and the earring, the eyewear, the hats, all this wearable, and we can use technology to make it happen. And so the vision is AR commerce, and then trying to find any other AI can help AR commerce growing. That's how I see the market.
Right. I cannot agree more. I think you really summarize a very important part for our audience, especially the technology-driven startups. The CEO really need the vision, and the vision means understand the future, how the society changes. I remember when I partnered with MIT Media Lab for my fashion incubator early on. I was in MIT, and they walked me through the faculty in the media lab. I was amazed by, more than 50% of the MIT Media Lab is actually not the technology people, but more the sociology, psychology. They really coming from the understanding of the future, how the people's life gonna change based on the possible technology, and then they define the roadmap and the vision, and then have the technology to really support the idea. So I think it's not really the technology go first, and then you just kind of doing your business there. I think it's very important, especially for the technology company, to have the right understanding of the future, of the life changes, of anything that could make our life different, and then you drive the technology for your value creation process. Thank you, Alice, for your time, and it's great sharing. I think our audience really learned a lot. Hopefully we'll come across again and hear more story about Perfect.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.